William Thomas Brett, sonar technician, second class. Okay, I joined up in, well, I actually got drafted to go into the Army, but I was interested in electronic schools of any kind, and I was told that the Navy was the best place for that, so I joined the Navy, and when I got my draft notice to go in the Army, and I joined the Navy in December of 1965. Well, it was a change, definitely. First thing, you lost your hair, like and the biggest thing I think is that you become like a team, and everybody you're in with in your company in boot camp is like brothers by the time you come out. And basically you're going to be watching each other's back. And for a lot of kids, I guess it's the first time they got any spot where they might, be in a form of leadership or anything like that. So it's a big change if you're maybe a city kid for the most part. I was a country boy, came off the farm. It seemed like most people that went in the Navy, I think about 70 or 80% of them were farm kids. I was a farm kid from upstate New York. So. Okay, I served in boot camp in Great Lakes, Illinois during December, January, February, and March of 65 and 66. It was definitely a little cool. The heat used to be turned off in the barracks sometimes around midnight, and you got up the next morning and you had maybe an inch and a half of frost on the inside of the windows. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, you definitely got out of your rack or bunk, whatever you want to call it at the time, and you were dressed and out on the grinder with your pea coat on, when it's probably maybe 15 degrees below zero and the wind about 30 miles an hour. Just to give you an idea. And we also, if there was a snowstorm, everybody used to get together and you did it in groups. During the snowstorm, you went out and shoveled around the barracks. But by the time you got around the barracks, it was time to start all over again. And we used to do our laundry, and this was all done in boot camp. Now we used to have to do our laundry by hand in the showers and stuff, and tie them up and outside in square knots, and then you marched around most of the day doing drills and stuff. You got back at night, you had to go outside and between the ice and everything else, knock the ice off the square knots and get them undone, and then you brought them in and tied them up and hung them in the boiler room in the barracks to finally dry. Now, I learned how to swim. I didn't know how to swim when I went in, and you're up on a 12-foot diving board, and I told the guys, the instructors at the time, well, you're going to have to fish me out. And they did. They pulled me out coughing up water by the time they fished. So then I had to go every night for about 3-4 weeks to learn how to swim, diving for a bolt in the bottom, in the shallow end. Gradually got to the point that I could go all the way around the whole pool, to pass, that you're a swimmer anyway. Right? That was one thing I definitely learned that I didn't know how to do before I went in. I actually gained 10 pounds in boot camp. Most people lost 10 pounds in boot camp. I actually gained weight. So, because a lot of times when I was growing up, I never ate breakfast, which was, something I should have been doing, but I didn't. And there I ate, it wasn't bad at all, actually, Well, there really is no downtime in boot camp. You're lucky maybe once or twice a week you used to get to write a letter. You got about a half-hour free time or something. Back when I went in, it was a rarity if you even got a chance to make a phone call home. It was mostly just letters that you got to write, and otherwise you were shining your shoes or something like that, or working with one of the other guys or something that was a little, behind, not up to speed and that kind of thing. It was the relationship of coming together like everybody was a brother helping each other out. Well, they went through, back then, they went through almost a week of different tests and stuff like that. And I wanted to get in electronics. You know, I thought maybe electronics technician or a radarman or some rate like that. And the interviewer at the time, I figured whatever school they're going to offer me, I'm going to take. So he offered me, well, what about sonar technician? Because my hearing was real good. And I said yes at the time. I said, you know, whatever they're going to offer me, I'm going to take. So that's what I took. I ended up going to sonar school right after boot camp.